standing across. Here comes the Miracle Man, Daniel Jacobs, fighting out of New York, New York. He is one of the most talented fighters in this division. Let's see what he's got for us in this one.
This bout is scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Fighting out of the red corner, from Brooklyn, New York, introducing an acclaimed two-time middleweight champion of the world known as the Miracle Man, introducing Daniel Jacobs. Fighting out of the blue corner, from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, here is Mexico's first ever undisputed world champion and renowned star of boxing. Here is a 4-division world champion and an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
All the talking has been done. It's time to start doing the... These two fighters promised us an offensive show. Let's see if they deliver. Got out of the way of that right hook. Both men step back for just a moment. Neither man really defending themselves. Nice counter shot. Not too many seats to be had in this arena as the hype continues to build for this showdown.
You have certain fighters that are born for this, that are made for the big crowd. And looking at corner right there, that is that fighter right there. They have elevated, lifted, it's like they're not touching the ground. This is what they were born for.
Nice exchanges from both men in this round. And he just missed with that left jab. Counter right. Punch, counter punch. Both of these men showing exceptional chins, by the way. Nice counter. Nice job landing that left counter punch. Good counter punching. Nice counter punch. Through the hook, didn't land. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Lands with the right counter. Beautiful counter shot. Nice counter shot with the right hand. I promise you, all three judges here. Here we go for round two. Catch and shoot. This counter puncher is going to wait for you to move first, and then will strike like a snake. Keep an eye on this guy.
Reaction is second to none. It's the blink of an eye, and they're waiting for any little touch and do. So you've got to fight a counter puncher smart.
He fails to score with that left hook. Good left counter that lands. Neither fighter willing to sit down on these punches. They're arm punches. They're scoring, but they're not going to hurt anybody. This fighter told us yesterday, if he doesn't win by knockout, he doesn't consider it a real victory. That's the mentality he has.
With sluggers, you cannot let them get into a rhythm because this is how they train. This is how they prepare for a fight. This is what they'll do all night. Do not dance their dance. You've got to use speed.
Some nice exchanges from both men in this round. Nope, that hook won't score. That counter shot lands. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Well, there was no doubt about who won that round.
I seriously hope the judges kept their eye on this fight, because if they haven't, there's going to be absolute uproar.
There's the bell for round 3. These middleweight type of fights, Johnny, you're obviously not going to see the speed you see in some of the lighter divisions or the power you see in some of the heavier divisions, but you sort of get the best of both worlds.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the glamorous is a heavyweight, but the middleweight, it's the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace, you can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history book.
They exchange punches. And he misses with the left uppercut. Good counter punch. Back and forth they go. Neither fighter willing to back down. Missed him with that uppercut. Just misses with that big right hand. That left counter was perfectly timed. This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
Work the body, frustrate them, take the mind off the chin, take the mind off protecting everything around that. Work the body, use tactics sometimes to sort of actually outbox a fight and beat them on points.
Look at counter punching from both these fighters. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. It's no secret who has the advantage after that last round. Let's see what they have in store for us in the next one.
You can't leave it up to the judges. It's up to you as a fighter, and a cornerman's got to put a firecracker on that fight to get out there and get the job done.
Back at it in round 4. Just counter left hand there. And he misses with that jab. That left counter punch will score. A perfect counter lands. His jab just got blocked. How do they use this fighter's aggression against them?
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with fire. You either give it them back because that's where they're comfortable, or you play calm, play cool.
Catch and shoot with the left counter. Good job. That hook doesn't score. Nice job landing with that right hand counter. Swing and a miss with that hook. He parries away that left hook. When we talk about a fighter having power, don't just look at the head punches they throw. Look at the body shots. That can be the real difference.
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain there.
Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. They've got the momentum, they've got the advantage. How do they carry that into the next round?
I seriously hope the judges kept their eye on this fight, because if they haven't, there's going to be...
Back into the fray here in round 5. Great counter right hand there. And a counter left. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. And down goes Daniel Jacobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What a punch. Left punch. How much confidence do you build when your opponents hit you with their best shot and you walk right through it?
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go and it's just bouncing up and they're walking you down, it's so demoralizing. It absolutely breaks your heart. What else can you do?
That left hook misses. They score again with the left hand. Final 10 seconds of the round, and he is looking really sharp. Boy, this next round is going to be crucial. There's the bell for round 6. Endurance is becoming a factor. You can see this fighter having a hard time getting out of the way of the punches, and they're not throwing as many on their own.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. You make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
You hear that old phrase, second wind. You've got to find it somehow. It's knockout or bust for both of these fighters. When we talk about a fighter having power, don't just look at the head punches they throw. Look at the body shots. That could be the real difference.
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, someone can take you out with a simple jab. It can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
And that hook misses. The hook, but it doesn't score. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. I promise you, all three judges here are going to give that round to you-know-who. Round 7, here we go. Nice punch. How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this guy that can seriously hurt you?
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you've got to think him. You've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little Fagin and pickpocket them.
Trying to answer back. Back and forth they go. Nice exchanges from both men in this round. I think it's safe to say one of these fighters certainly has a He's rolled the dice, he's coming up aces here, but can he seal the deal? And it appears the onslaught is over, at least for now. Why aren't they keeping their gloves up? Doesn't always pay to be first. It pays to be last. And just as quickly as it slows down, it heats back up. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Pretty dominant round there. Let's see how they respond here in the next round.
So they don't get complacent. I think this is...
And they're back at it again here in round 8. So far, it seems like aggression has been the key. This fighter just not slowing down.
I've seen some aggressive fighters like this, and they are a nightmare. If you are not fit, that is the worst place to be, having second thoughts in the ring.
He blocks the hook. Back and forth they go. That hook was thrown with some bad intentions. When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are. Men step back for just a moment. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. That was almost a top. Let's see how much fatigue we see here in round 9. Showing exceptional chins, by the way. The old adage is, no matter how much speed you've got, timing beats speed.
Having so much speed, what happens to your opponent is you get cut to ribbons, and that's where the referee has to jump in and stop the fight. And you know this is going to happen, so you rush your work. You think, I've got to get him inside close round.
Punch. Left shot lands. Nice exchanges from both men in this round. He misses with that jab. One of these fighters is starting to run out of gas. What do you do as a fighter when you just don't have the energy?
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance? Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. As bad as boxing judging can be sometimes, there's no doubt. There's the bell to start round 10. An explosive knockdown. I don't see any way he's going to beat this count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Down, and that may just do it. He is not moving. Will he make it back to his feet?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It happened. You saw it here live. A knockout win. Congratulations.
A knockout victory. That is God. Did you see the shot? That's not a knockout. That's an assassination. What a shot.